Welcome, viewers, listeners, and homebodies to Radio Big Sky's Pivot Episode 4, where we feature local peeps and their stories of change and inspiration, courage, and more. Check us out on Instagram at Radio Big Sky for upcoming guests and shows. Everyone has a story that must be told. Today, we switched up. We did a little flip the classroom moment here. We are welcoming former Big Sky resident and current visitor to Big Sky, Mr. Bryan Warga. So welcome, Bryan.
Thank you.
You want to tell our audience where you are at right now?
Sure. And then you tie into, when I got to Big Sky or?
Yeah, like where you are now. What got you to Big Sky? What was that move like? And then the move back and, just a brief little.
Absolutely. Well, for me, first, once again, I really appreciate, the opportunity to sit here and kind of reconnect with you, especially you teaching my kids, and I'll tell you where they are, at this point. But for years, I've been in the second home resort development real estate business, Jeremy, and what eventually, brought me to Big Sky is I was doing a project down in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. Met with a group called the Discovery Land Company. Mike Melman then eventually gets to Big Sky, but currently where I am right now is in Greenville, South Carolina. That's where my wife and all our kids, now are being raised. Rayleigh is 18, Rhett is 13, and then Reed is 17 right now. So I mean, it's crazy. But when I was there, we actually got there at 09, December 23rd. Right around, obviously, Christmas. And that was the first time there. And I was working up at the Yellowstone Club at the time.
Okay. So it was 10 years ago already.
It's crazy.
Wow. That's unbelievable. It's fun watching your family grow up on social media. It's also great when you guys come out for the summers or I can't remember the last summer, if it was last summer or 2 summers ago you were out. So it's always nice to see you guys. Your kids are super awesome, super polite. Most teenagers don't really care to talk to their former 4th grade school teacher, but I always get a story out of them. So that's really neat to have you guys who come and visit. Like, what if I were to say the word Big Sky? What does that mean to you?
Family. I tell you, that's the biggest thing. When we came there, Jeremy, at the time, I mean, 09, there was not a stoplight in town. There wasn't a movie theater in town. It was just really the core, and everybody had, just checks and balances where, our kids, I felt as though anywhere that they went in town, we had parents everywhere, right. Because everybody was really, to me, is all about family, 100%.
Yep. Yeah, we've been recognizing that, especially with recent events, about how everybody's just really sticking up for each other and continuing to support each other, which is awesome. And that could be happening in other places. This is just my only experience.
Sure.
Speaking of experiences, give us a brief rundown of like what you're doing for business, what you do socially, hobby-wise. Just kind of like if I were to, you could put what you do for employment in 1 sentence.
In 1 sentence, to me, it's kind of a way I view it as a lifestyle specialist. Just sitting around, talking to my clients and really what resonates with their families, where they want to be via, if it's a gorgeous beach or ski in, ski out, somewhere, in the mountains, Jeremy, and then kind of everywhere, in between, if it's more, on the residential side. From a hobby perspective, my wife and I mean, which we haven't done in a while, quite frankly, love fly fishing. And you couldn't have a better spot when I was out there, in Big Sky, right there with the Gallatin River and all the, the trophy rivers they have.
Cool. This show is called Pivot, and pivot means differently to different people. When I say the word pivot, what does that mean to you?
It means transforming from going from one direction to the next, and that could be something in life. Right. That could be something that either happened and or currently, for instance, the time that we're in right now, just really. To me, kind of taking what you've learned in the past and pivoting to something where it'll take you in another direction, but also closer towards your goal.
Where have you seen that in your life?
In my life, currently, Well, I actually could take it, back when our son was born, as far as with Reed, and he had a lot to do with our faith, with my wife and I, and what he had to kind of go through at an early age, for us really getting back to the core of what's really important to people, and
Right.
for us, it's just spending time.
And that, if you don't mind me prying, but that was with his heart condition.
Correct.
Cool.
Correct.
And how has he rebounded from that?
Absolutely amazing. He's right now playing varsity basketball. When you see him, like I said, very blessed, to have him, in our lives. He's a character, that's for sure. And obviously teaching him, in the days, way back when, but no, everybody right now is, doing extremely well. Once again, we're very fortunate. And that pivot was, towards, our faith, but then also what's really important to us, and that's family.
Yeah, that's an awesome reflection there. I've heard rumor out there that there's this allegedly new YouTube channel starting called Where's Warga. Where's Warga is based a little bit on Where's Waldo, I believe. There's some chatter out there on the internet about this. Let's dive into this Where's Warga and make this our main piece to tell us about where this idea came from and what your goals and aspirations are with this.
Sure. Well, it's funny you brought that up. Anyway, I've, as working in the second home resort business, kind of away from the family, Jeremy, in a long time. And then with, concierge auctions, traveling all over, been very blessed, over the years, meeting some great, amazing people. But my youngest son, Rhett, sometimes just talking on the phone, he's like, Dad, where are you? Where are you today? And it kind of correlated me back to when, I sit there and read to the kids. All of us, we had this one book where we'd open up and then we'd kind of look and it's like, where's Waldo?
Right.
And we'd find him, and I says, well, gosh, okay, that kind of resonates. So anyway, that's how, morphed into, where's Warga? And literally, where's Warga to me, as far as, from a lifestyle, once again, perspective of all the people, that I touch, just kind of sharing what I'm doing, where I am. And that could be, an amazing, property, could be an amazing home, but just more importantly, it could just be, just kind of hanging out with some local folks, as well. And just really just kind of getting back to the core of, what we're all about. Once again, all relying around, just, family and sharing those experiences and memories.
Do you look at it as like a mentorship in a way, or more of advice, like?
I wouldn't say mentorship, but I would say just more just sharing what's really important to me. Once again, family, character, things that, and the core values of what, and how we're raising, our children. And a lot of those, quite frankly, resonated out, when we're at Big Sky, and just seeing, how people are really connecting to each other and bonding, in good and bad times, which to me is, really separates, as far as character.
Where and when can our audience check that out while they're perusing through the social media and intranet?
We'll see. Yeah, it'll be coming soon, Jeremy. This may be one of the first posts out there, but I've been working behind the scenes, doing some interviews and stuff. So I would say no question within the next month, cool. As we kind of go through our times, what we're doing right now, reflecting.
And on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, it's Where's Warga. That's WHERESWARGA. Awesome. Okay, rapid fire time. Here we go. What's number 3 on your bucket list?
Oh God, number 3 on my bucket list. And I was just looking at this the other day. 3 on my bucket list, so we get back out to fly fishing to the Deschutes.
Awesome. I have to be there, but my good buddy does that a lot. He lives out in that neck of the woods. What color is your toothbrush?
Blue.
Wine from a bottle or a box?
Bottle.
Texting or talking?
Talking. Absolutely talking.
Yeah. What is one piece of advice that you wish people would listen to?
Be true to who you are, no matter what. And what separates me as far as character is, it's always good to do the things when people are watching, but what are you doing when they're not watching?
Yeah, I have a good friend who will actually be on this show next week named Marcus Anderson, who talks about, can we find the courage to be authentically ourselves, fully authentic, and that's one of his, life questions he asks himself. But who can find the courage to be authentic? And that's really tough, especially in a world where we're surrounded by social media. We're surrounded by very perspectives thrown at us all the time. When do you reserve time for yourself to be you? And so,
No, you're right. But everybody, Jeremy, has a special quality. It's a matter of, just identifying, your quality and being true to that, which I was saying, which creates your greatest version of yourself. And that's what everybody needs to be doing, especially nowadays.
okay, here's a couple that are going to get you vulnerable and test that authenticity. What song do you sing in the shower?
Ventura Highway.
Favorite candy or snack that your wife doesn't know you secretly sneak at gas stations or grocery stores?
Heath bars.
Ding dongs for me. Nickname your parents used to call you?
Everybody knows me by Gumbo.
Okay. Which of your kids is driving you the most nuts right now?
Reed, just because he's a night owl. What's going on?
Okay. In honor of George Carlin, what's your favorite swear word?
I can't say. This is PG-13, correct? Okay.
You can tell us what it starts with.
Yes.
All right. Starting new this week, you get to ask me one question. Go.
Tell me, Jeremy, through your experiences and what you have, with all the kids, because obviously you do a very good job of that. What's the most important thing you're trying to convey to the kids, especially nowadays?
Give back. I think doing something for someone other than yourself, I think, is really one of my driving tenets. Is like, you know what? Find something somewhere in your neighborhood, in your house, in your home, in your own home, in your school, in your church, in your whatever your other organization is that's really important to you. Give back and do something for somebody else. I think that's definitely one of them. And then lately, my other one is like, get outside. Like, it sounds very simple, but like, especially now more than ever, like, put the phone down, put the iPad down, put the Chromebook down, go outside. I've been watching Elijah build jumps out of random wood, which is what you and I did growing up all the time. And he's never done that. He's 10, and it's been so fun watching him and two of his neighbor buddies from the ages of 12 to 13 out there building jumps and jumping. Whenever they don't have online class, they're outside jumping on those jumps. And I feel like that's all I did, besides go fishing and ride motorbikes. So get outside and give back.
No question, Jeremy. You're in God's country out there, buddy, to do that. I mean, that's awesome.
Thank you for that question. That helps me move throughout my day now of what my direction is. Bryan, I want to thank you. I've known you for 10 years, maybe more, feels like, but this conversation has opened new doors for me to consider with your wisdom and your knowledge. I look forward to finding where's Warga, literally and metaphorically and social media-wise in the next month. Keep your heads out for where's Warga, for everyday advice, lessons, and just sharing stories, because like this show, everyone has a story, and it's important that we share those in some way or another. Thank you so much. Send love to your family.
You do the same, Jeremy. Thank you. You have a blessed day, buddy. Really appreciate it.
We hope to see you this summer.
Absolutely, buddy. Take care.
Bye.